Hey guys, Foxdrop here with a video on the 3.8 patch notes. This is the second video I've done on the patch notes. The first one I did was just about the jungle changes, so if you want to learn about the jungle changes, then that's the other video. I've already done a video on that, so you can watch that. The link will be on the screen, in the description. It's also be in my outro as well, so you can have a look at that video for the jungle changes. But this video is going to be the changes to the champions and the items and stuff. It's been a bit of a 3.8 has been out for a while, so I'm sorry this video is quite late. Also, I want to say before I start that I've kind of got a bit of a thumping headache. So if I sound like crap, then you know why, and I'm sorry. But I'll try to keep this relatively quickly, so just in case it's too much. But so the first change for this patch, the first champion change, is with Hecarim. I'm kind of in two minds about this change. Basically, I think at the end of the day, Hecarim will still be good. He'll still be strong. He's not been over-nerfed in my opinion. The change on his E, his devastating charge, means that he'll now follow people over walls if he chases them over walls, but this is a very minor, probably won't even ever see that change really, but this is the big one. His ultimate his ulti does no damage on the impact damage, so when you ult on someone and fear them, it doesn't do any damage at the end location, which is what it says, which is, well, I'll get into this in a second, but the riders do more damage, so if you pass through people, then you do quite a lot more damage to them. This really, I'm not too sure what I think about this change, just because this is a very, no, this isn't black and white, you know, this Hecarim change is not black and white. What they say, no longer deals damage at the end location. What's the definition of the end location? Do they mean if you've ever played Hecarim, you'll know that it's a straight line, like a column is where the riders will hit, and then at the end of the column there's like a circle, and within that circle everyone gets feared and there's impact damage. Does this end location mean that circle, or does it mean the very tip of the circle kind of thing? It really all depends on what the hitbox is like on this ulti. So now if it means that whoever gets feared doesn't take any damage, that's really harsh, because it was really nice to wait for people to bunch up and then you'd fear everyone and do loads of damage to them. I mean, you want to be fearing people when you're playing Hecarim. You don't want to just like run through them. It seems a bit weird to kind of, you have to choose between damage and a fear. Like it seems weird to do that, and I don't think Riot would ever do that. So it's very peculiar, but it really depends. Like if it just means that you can't hit people on max range and still do loads of damage to them and stuff, then that's fair enough. It really all depends on what the hitbox now is like for the damage and whether or not it's reliable. If you have to choose between a fear and damage, then that hurts Hecarim quite a lot. Although, and it all depends, you know, like you displace yourself so much if you really wanted the damage and you didn't want the fear. It just seems very weird. But I'll move on from that. Basically, you know, like I said in the beginning, I think Hecarim's still good regardless. So Kha'zix, this is a really interesting change. This is one I'm most interested in, this change in the jungle, because Kha'zix is one of my favourite junglers. And this change is, well, it's definitely interesting. So Taste the Fear is his Q, I believe that's his Q, although it might be his passive, but okay, yeah, evolution, right, yeah, I'm an idiot, it's his Q. His, basically the isolation damage has been increased and his evolution has been increased. So basically his Q now does more damage, his W, like, long story short, Q more damage, W less impact. That's pretty much the way it goes. His W, you don't have to evolve his Void Spikes anymore in order to slow people, which is really good. That's one of the reasons you wanted to evolve your W first when you were jungling Kha'zix, because it really helped your ganks, because it gave you that extra slow. It gave you that slow in order to engage, which you then follow up with all your other stuff. It doesn't slow them. You don't have to evolve it to slow them anymore. But basically, it no longer, you can't use it while you're jumping around, which is more annoying than it looks like. That's actually really frustrating. But it no longer consumes your passive effects. So your passive doesn't trigger off of your Void Spikes, which is what gave the slow. Now it just has a slow on it anyway. But basically this means that you do not do crazy damage, because your passive also does extra damage. So it doesn't do crazy damage anymore. Your W is not strong, but your isolation is a lot stronger. Your basic Kha'zix now is more of an assassin. Like he had too much poke, and now he's more of an assassin. And I really like this change. Like after playing him, I really like this change. and he can do, like, his dueling power is through the roof now. Like, it's so much damage. His isolation damage is crazy. You max it first, You you evolve it first, and you do so much damage. Like, it's crazy. It's really, really good, and I really like this change. I was rather skeptical of it before it came out because your W was very, very important for Kha'Zix when you're jungling, but it's fine. Like, he's fine. Like, he's really good now. Your Q doesn't take a lot of mana, so you can even like kind of spam it when you're clearing as well. Just make sure you kill the little creeps first, so you get the isolation damage. But this Kha'Zix is really good. He's really good at dueling, and if you get fed on Kha'Zix now, you can snowball really, really hard. Like, just as an assassin, he's basically just much more of an assassin now, which I think was how he was intended to be played. Now, Lissandra, I'm going to mention Lissandra because I like playing Lissandra jungle. This is a really good change for Lissandra jungle, basically because it makes her, it's a small buff to her, and it makes her utility better. So this kind of buffs her. It doesn't mean that she's a harder carry now necessarily, but I'll get into it. Basically, her Ring of Frost, her W, so whenever she pressed W, she snared everyone around her and did damage. The cooldown has been reduced by quite a lot at early ranks. The mana cost has been reduced by a lot, so you can spam it. You can spam it more, and as a bug fix. And Frozen Tomb now, her ulti. If you cast it on yourself, you get like an untargetable effect for an extra second more, which is almost double. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. And the slow around you now is also, you slow everyone around you for more when you rank it up, but the damage has been reduced, which is why I say this isn't like necessarily a carry change. Now, the reason why this is so good is because you can engage fights really, really, really well now on Lissandra, because you'll just jump in there and you can ulti yourself. It will slow everyone around you, it will do damage to everyone around you, and that slow is obviously stronger now, but also you won't die instantly because it lasts for 2.5 seconds. So you can engage really, really well on Lissandra, which was one of the things I really liked about her when I was playing a jungle. Like, you could E over a wall and then flash into a really good position and slow everyone around you. And those engages are just deadly as hell. And so this Ring of Frost change really helps her clearing, and this Frozen Tomb change just helps her team fighting. So I think, if you want to play this under jungle, it's honestly not that bad. Like, it's kind of cool. Now, Nautilus jungle, this change really isn't that much, and I kind of like this change, but it's not really that big a change. Well, I don't really like it because it's not, it's a nerf, but you do more damage early, but you do less damage later on, quite a lot less damage later on. And the reasoning Riot has given is pretty much spot on. They say that, let's see, if Nautilus gets ahead in levels, he ends up with both high damage and high tankiness when leveling Titan's Wrath first. So that's basically what it was. Like, if you got ahead and you could rank your W, you were really, really strong. So they've kind of toned that down a little bit, and I think this is fair. This is a just change. Nautilus was really, really strong. And talking of just changes, Sejuani is next. She was ludicrously OP in my opinion. Like, she was really, really strong. I loved playing Sejuani. She was really good. But basically now Northern Winds bonus maximum health ratio reduced to 10% from 16%, so she's doing less damage with that. Permafrost, her E, now reduced slow duration by 0.5 second across the board, just a little notch down there. And her Glacial Prison, her ulti now, slow and stun duration, is 0.25 less as well. So basically she has slightly less CC with her E and her ulti, and less damage with her Northern Winds. So I think these are very just changes. And the reason why they changed the health ratio was because if she had loads of health, she would shred people. So the tankier you got, the more damage you did, which is a very, very frustrating mechanic to play versus. Like, the stronger they are, the harder they are to kill them, the harder they kill you as well, which is really annoying to play versus. So I like the way they turned that down, rather than touch her base damages. So I think these changes were very deserved, and I still think Sejuani is a good champion. Vi just got some bug fixes, so I won't talk about that. And now there are some item changes. Okay, I'll mention this boots of speed change because it's only 25 gold change, but I mean, I think it's viable now to start boots of speed plus 4 health potions on certain junglers, because you can afford to do that now. People, I would say, definitely Shaco. I mean, I'm really liking the boots 4 start on Shaco. Anyone who you want to be aggressive early on, anyone who you're not really focusing on farming early, you're just going to be like running around ganking or invading or something like that, you can get boots 4. The reason boots 3 wasn't as popular is because obviously you have one less health potion, which was a pretty big deal. But now you do have that extra health potion, so you basically have 150 extra health when you are like doing your invades and stuff like that. So I think you can do that. I think you can do that now. Dawn's Ring I'll mention really quickly just because it affects some people. No, not a lot of people though. But if you're playing AP in the jungle, which already eliminates most, AP champions, but there are a handful of them, and there's a small number within that circle that I reckon could start Dawn's Ring, and now you can go Dawn's Ring plus 2 potions, which is really good. The one obvious one is Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks used to start with a Dawn's Ring, or he used to start with either Boots or a Dawn's Ring. But now you can start Boots plus 2 health potions, or if you're Fiddle, you can probably start like Boots plus a ward or something like that. So that's good. And the health reduction isn't great, and the mana restore reduction isn't great either. But I think the extra 75 gold will really make up for that. Dawn Shield, they reduce the cost so you can get an extra potion, but they reduce the armor, so you can't get that in you can't get that. If this block was like for like half amount for minions or something, then maybe, but as it stands, no, that's not a jungle item. Now here we go. Here are the changes. Madrez and Wriggles. Basically, you no longer proc the extra damage, you just do extra damage. Every hit you do 60 bonus damage on Madrez, and on Wriggles every hit you do 100 bonus magic damage. So this is a really nice change. The fact that it's no longer RNG so much when you get your Madrez and your Wriggles procs, because they happen every single hit. And I like this change. I think this is good. They needed to do this. And like anytime RNG is involved, it can be very frustrating to play versus, like the 4% crit mastery you had like a year ago. If any of you remember that, that was by far the worst thing Riot done in this game, was put that 4% crit mastery in, because it meant whoever won the lane was down to that whoever crit first, and it was 4%, so it was a pretty low chance, but it was high enough to really impact any lane, any and every single lane. Someone would get crit, and it was really annoying to play versus. And it's really annoying when someone counter jungles you just because they get like 2 or 3 Wriggles or Madrez procs in a row. So I like this change. Like I said a million times, I like this change. And it also means the more attack speed you have, then obviously the more damage you're going to do to monsters, because you'll be hitting them more frequently and be propping this maim passive. Now I want to talk a bit about Wriggles as well, just as an item, how it's changed. The lowdown, I still don't think it's that good. Basically what they've done is they've made it costs more, but it gives more stats. That's basically what it is. Like, it now costs 2k gold instead of 1600, but it gives you 10 extra AD and 5% extra lifesteal, where it does give you 5 less armor. It's not huge, but it's 5 less armor still. But I should mention that the war changes. They last 90 seconds now instead of 180. I think that's a nice change because it means you can put it down more often, so that's kind of cool. But this is what in my opinion, the reason why Wriggles isn't bought, there's 2 reasons why it's not bought. Firstly, it's too expensive, and secondly, it's a dead-end item. It doesn't build into anything else. You could argue that the Spirit of the Ancient Golem, Spirit of the Lizard, all that stuff, they're dead-end items that cost 2k gold as well, but they're actually really good. Like, they're really gold-efficient items. And whereas Wriggles may be really gold-efficient as well, it's it was gold-efficient in weird areas to the extent where it wasn't really worth getting. And it hasn't changed, in my opinion. If they wanted to make Wriggles really more appealing to junglers, they would do the opposite. They would turn down the cost, and they give it less stats but make it cost less. That would be more appealing to junglers, but I'm fully aware that's not really possible. Riot can't do that. They can't do that because it would cost, if they did that, it would be a really gold efficient item for laners as well. AD lifesteal armor, we've already seen Wriggles used on ADs previously in the meta. It would be used everywhere if that happened. Top laners, ADs, they'd get it left, right, and center. So I understand it's a difficult place for Riot to balance this Wriggles item, but I don't think this is really gonna. I don't really think people are gonna pick this up, in my opinion. I mean, if you think about it, right, what I'm gonna say now might throw a lot of you guys off. So just pay attention to the conclusion I'll get to in the end. But if you can follow this, just bear with me, right? So they've increased the AD by 10, and they've increased the lifesteal by 5. So what other items give AD and lifesteal? Well, Vampiric Scepter gives 10 AD and 10% lifesteal. And, the new Wriggles gives you 10 AD and 5% lifesteal. So they're similar. You can compare those. And so if Vamp Scepter costs 800 gold, and gives 10 AD, 10 lifesteal, this new Wriggles item now costs, 400 gold more? Yeah, 400 gold more, and gives 10 AD and 5 lifesteal, which are 75% of the stats that a Vampiric Scepter does. 75% of the cost of Vampiric Scepter is 600 gold from 800 gold, and Wriggles now costs 400 gold more. So as far as gold efficiency goes, they've increased the stat gold efficiency by like what was that? So 600 gold. It now gives you 600 gold worth more. 600 golds worth more stats. Yeah, I think that's right. And but only costing you 400 gold more. Although there is the armor reduction in there, so that's not 100%. And what the conclusions I'm drawing aren't 100% anyway, because it's kind of complicated. But that's basically it. Like it now, the item gives you 600 gold more worth of stats, and only 400 gold increase in the cost. So that's kind of telling you like the improvement of the gold efficiency standpoint. So as far as it goes, gold efficiency is a good increase, you know. But like I say, I just don't think it's worth getting still. I think it's too expensive. I just don't think it's worth it personally. But anyway, Spirit of the Elder Lizard and Spirit of the Spectral Wraith have had their damage reduced, 10 damage reduction on Elder Lizard and 10 on Spectral Wraith. It's really annoying because I really like this Elder Lizard item on certain. I think this is a really good jungle item, but Riot has to balance around laners, and really laners are kind of like the priority to balance around, just because they get so much more gold. So if they create an item which is really gold efficient, costs no gold and gives loads of stats, laners are going to get it like 10 minutes into the game, when junglers are meant to get it. You know, if it was designed for junglers to get like 15-20 minutes, the laners will have it before, because laners kind of, you can't balance around the jungle because it just makes the laners OP. It's like the champions, like Kha'zix, who was changed. It wasn't his Kha'zix jungle that was changed. Any champion that gets nerfed, that can be played as a laner as well as a jungler, most of the time they get nerfed because of their lane pressure. And indirectly it always nerfs those characters in the jungle too. And it's the same with these items here. These aren't getting nerfed because junglers are OP, they're getting nerfed because laners are using them and they're OP too. But they increase the butcher slightly, not too much, you know, 5% extra damage to creeps, but they nerfed them, but I don't think they've killed them. 45 AD was quite a lot, and now it's only 10 less AD, so it's not that bad, I guess, but it's annoying. It's definitely, you know, these are still good items, basically. Anyway, I think I've talked for far too long. There's nothing else really. Yeah, maybe I should say Wit's End. Now it shreds 5 magic resist, stacking up to 5 times, so 25% flat, 25% flat MR shred. Well, not just shred, but steal as well, so you get extra MR as well with it. But it's not that much different, really. I don't think this will really change it too much. Maybe not too. You can get it on some other junglers now, Warwick probably, but it's not. You know, this is a good item for Warwick, but it's not going to make Warwick viable again. You know, so not a huge change. Anyway, like I said, I've talked far too much about that. I'm sorry, guys. But I hope you enjoyed the little analysis. Like I say, probably wasn't sounding too interesting because I don't feel too great. Like my head, like I'm stuck inside my head. Holy crap! But yeah. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I'm sorry it was so late. I hope you found it useful. I hope you have what should I say? Good luck in solo queue and have a wonderful. No, I shouldn't say that. Sorry, I'll probably get copyrighted or something. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys, and I will see you in my next video.